So let's say if due to some reason I do not get the uh, recording, so at least I'll be able to share of mine. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so now we all know nowadays Hadoop Spark Scala is like in great demand, and leveraging it to the cloud, either maybe in AWS, Azure, or Databricks. So these are like, it's like a next level step. So people can leverage that and make them blissful so that they can adapt to the hot market. Okay, so in this what we are trying to see is, so this is just a use case, a small use case. What I have done is, so we are just trying to remove the world map, world development indicators. Okay, so we are just trying to explore some things. I'll try to show you how to create the cluster, how to navigate, etc., etc. Everything means what I know, what I have learned in this project. So I'll try to share that, and we'll try to write these 5 questions. We'll try to remove the 5 question solution. Okay, so let's start with, without wasting time. So let me go to the Databricks website wherein I can log in. So let me log in here itself. Okay, so once you go to the Databricks website, so here you will be able, if your account is not created, what you can do is you can create your account by doing just a sign up. Okay, so a new page will open and you can just do a sign up on that, and everything you can just fill your details. So it's like a free basic account. A verification will come onto your email, and you can just done. So I have already done that, so I'll not show you that. So I'll just log into my account. Okay, so I've just logged in. So we don't need to create any we don't need to do any type of installations, etc., etc. So Databricks leverages the cloud, and it gives us the feasibility to create a cluster and practice our all Spark Scala code or PySpark code, and we can leverage it to machine learning as well. So everything is available. So I'll just briefly walk through you. Later on you can explore. So this is the home button, so wherein you will be having all the information about your notebooks which you would be creating and working on, and the recent notebooks you will be getting here. So I have worked on 3 things. Data means, from here if you see, if you go to add data, so there are 3 4 tabs wherein you can upload the data. So you can upload the file, which I would be doing is over here. You can directly go to, if your data is stored in AWS S3, that is simple service storage, you can pick the data from there also. The DBFS is nothing, your Databricks file system. I already have that data, or from the other data source. Okay, so there are various other sources which are available, so you can pick the data from there also. So there are different options which are being assigned. Here is the option of cluster. So here you can create your cluster. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just create a cluster for this workshop. So let's say this is my workshop 1, wherein I'll be solving 5 questions. And if you see, there is a 0 worker. Okay, there is a 1 driver, what is the memory, 2 cores, what is DBU, everything you can just explore. It's up to you. Okay, which version you want to pick. So you want to take with the machine learning or the normal one. I'll go with the normal one as of now. Okay, so what this will be giving you, so you can just go through it. So meanwhile, once this cluster is getting created, so it takes some 4 to 5 minutes. So till the time that cluster is created, what I'll just explore on few things. So whatever workbook which you would be creating under this workbook, so we'll be finding the option under recent, as I told you. Okay, so workspace will have all the information of your history under this account. So I am the user, so from this I have these many things. Okay, so and home is nothing but your actual place where you can reside. This is the home bar, so wherein you can start if you want to know about the Databricks tutorial, you can go over here, and they have given certain steps. You can follow that and leverage it. It's up to you. Import and export data, I have already shown you how to import and export data from various methodologies they have provided, either from the AWS S3. You can upload from your local file system. You can pick the data already which is available in the Databricks, or from the other file system. You can create a blank notebook. Here are there are means how to create a table, how to create a cluster, machine learning, etc., etc. So you can just explore. It's a free thing which has been provided by the Databricks to explore. Here we can write the code in Spark as well as Python. Okay, so as I am working in Spark, so I am a bit known to the Spark arena, so I'll writing the code in Spark. Okay, so let me go to the cluster and let's see what is the status of the cluster. The status of the cluster is still pending. Okay, so this is still getting created. Meanwhile that is getting created, so let me come over here. I'll be using two data sets, that is country CSV and dots CSV. So these are the two data sets which I will be using, so that is already there. And these are the 5 problem statements which we will try to solve. Okay, so we will try to solve in couple of methods. All the 5 problem statements we will try to solve in 2 methods. One is in the SQL method and the other is data frame method. Both we will try to see. Let's see where our cluster is, and I'll show you more options in cluster also. Later on you can just explore what are the options available. So this is just still spinning up, so it is taking time. Let it take time. Okay, so sorry for the deviation. Let's come back to the original topic. And what was that? Yes. So what I have done is I have created a cluster on Databricks. What you can do is you can just, it's very easy to create the cluster. Create the cluster and just try to explore. Now if you go to this notebooks, I don't have any notebooks because I have just started the cluster. Once I create a notebook from workspace or home, so I'll be getting whatever the notebook I would be creating, that will be reflecting over here. Okay, you can just explore the libraries, the Spark UI. I will be showing you the metrics, how the Gangila looks like. So because here I can see all how my cluster is behaving. Okay, so I've just started. So what is my number of nodes, what is my number of CPUs, and what is my number of processors which I was getting, and what is the utilization. You can just track it on which node you are working. Everything you can do. So it's up to you how you want to take that, means how you want to explore. Okay, it's up to you. And let's just see the configuration. So this is the DAG, means when I'll be executing the jobs, so like stages will be coming into picture. We know what are stages, we know what are tasks, what are the worker nodes in the Spark architecture. So this is just you can explore upon your availability. So I'm just trying to show you and you can explore the things. Okay, let me go to the workspace and let me create a new notebook. What I'm doing is I'm creating a new notebook. Here you can choose the language of yourself. Okay, either you can choose Python, Scala. I'm pretty much comfortable with Scala, so I'll go with Scala. Okay, so let's say um, workshop 1. Oh, that is fine. Okay, and I'm just saying create. So a new workbook will be created wherein you can do all your coding, etc., etc. There are so many options available like new notebook, clone, rename, move, delete. So moving ahead slowly the scenario comes. I'll show you one by one. Okay, but these, can you see the right hand 4 to 5? So these are very important. I'll just click. So run the cell. So whatever code I would be writing in this particular form, so I can run that. So if I want to run all the above or run the below, it gives you that functionality. Okay, the second tab, like if you want to do copy, cut, export, add the cell above, add the cell, I will show you everything once we move ahead. So minimize, my code will not be showing. Can you see all this dotted show cell? Again it will come back. So we just need to explore. It's very easy. It's because it's a UI based. Okay, so let's go back. So I have already, so now these are the two files which I need to upload from my local file system to my DBFS. So how can you do that? You need to go to the data. Okay, once you go to the data, you can say add data and you can say upload file. Okay, so once you upload, or you can say browse, so the pop-up will come. Okay, once the pop-up will come, you can go to your respective location. So let's say I am going to my respective location, projects, and let's say use case. So these are my files. Okay, so I've already uploaded that. How, once you upload this, if you go to the DBFS, which is nothing but your Databricks file system, if you go to file store, if you go to tables, I can see these two things. Okay, So what you need to do is you just need to go over here, browse to that particular location and just upload it. It's pretty easy. I have already means I have done that and I have tested that, hence I'm not moving into it. Okay, so this is how even you can upload from your see this cluster which we have created in the backend, it is using cloud, and that cloud is nothing but your AWS. So again it is leveraging your cloud functionality. So that's why moving ahead down the line, maybe after 6 months or 1 year, everything will be on cloud. So whoever are working on Hadoop Spark on premise, I would suggest them start picking either Databricks, which I'm trying to show, or you can pick AWS, or you can pick Azure, or you pick GCP. It's up to you, whichever suits to you, it's up to you. Okay, so let's start. So I already have those two files with me. What I will do first, I will try to load those two things in my notebook. Okay, and I'll try to show you the different syntaxes. Like there will be a small change here and there, and no, not much. If you are pretty aware of your Spark Scala, so this would be pretty easy for you. Okay, so val is nothing but your immutable type. Okay, so we know how to declare the variables val and var. So val is your immutable and var is your mutable. Okay, so I'm going with immutable. Okay, let's go ahead and sorry, so let's say I have two files. Okay, what are those two files? One is country and one is indicators. So let me take those two files. So first I'll say country data frame. I'm trying to read the data frame directly. Okay, spark dot read dot format. Okay, so this is my CSV format, so I'm trying to give my CSV format, CSV. Okay, and let's do the indentation. Okay, and then there are certain options. What are those options? Let me show you what I'm trying to. Let me open the country CSV. When I'm opening the country CSV, and what, let's just do a double click, I can see all the column names are available over here. Okay, so this, it means that this file is containing some headers. Okay, if I don't want to take that as a header, so and I want to recognize, so with the help of options we can do many things. So let's say the first thing is it has a header. Okay, yes, it has a header, so let's say true. Then what I will do, one more I'll try to read the schema internally, because if we are not reading the schema, so we need to do like add the struct type, or we can do the case class mechanism. It's up to us. There are different methods available, but as I have the availability of doing the infer schema, so I can take that leverage and perform that. So let's take that is as true. Okay, and the last thing is how we do spark dot we write a load. So what we do, we try to provide the path. Now here we need to provide the path of the data. Okay, so that data is residing like over here. So let me go to the yeah, here it was, and in my dbfs. So if you just let me go back, can you see, can you see the dbfs target directory, how it is specified? So the syntax starts from file store, then the tables. Okay, okay, then your whatever the CSV name. So this is how it will be starting. So in our local computer, or whenever we are writing the code, so that would be starting the, now it, where is this file is located? So this is located in F drive, etc, etc. So that's how you'll have to navigate. So this is just a small thing which you need to remember. Okay, so it is in file store. Okay, in it's like follows like a initial caps mechanism. Then we have under file store, we need have tables, and whatever my file name is, my file name is country.csv. Okay, that's it. So let me copy this. How we do in a Spark data frame, we just try to do this and we just try to show, but show does not work over here. So there are just a small, see, every ecosystem or every thing has a different flavor. So just the different flavor I'm trying to show, we need to write display over here. Okay, so let me do that. And if I want to execute this, what I can do, I can press, can you see this, shift enter to run the shortcut, or else on the right hand side, can you see this, run the cell. Let's use this just for now. Now if you see the running, it's doing something, means it is getting processed. So what it will do, it will try to read this data frame. Okay, so there is some error. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. See, whenever we do mistakes, it throws certain things. We just need to identify that. So I have made a spelling mistake. Let me remove that. So it should have been display, not whatever the mistake which I made. Let me execute this again. Again it is running. So why it is not showing display? Do I need to write my %scala to identify this notebook as I'm running my scala command? Now let me execute this again. Org dot Apache. So this is taking. Why this is not?
Saf, you can check by percentage fs ls that path is the path exists or not.
Just give me a moment, huh? So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So let me go to the data. Okay, and let me go
Yeah,
with
hello.
add data and
Start from
dbfs file
while
store
loading.
and the tables. And can you see this? Okay, the I means there is a typo error from my end. Let me change that. I have written small c. It should have been c. Okay, and let me do that again. And let's run this again. No issues. So this will be always there. Yeah, now the Spark job is running. Can you see this Spark job is running? And now it is displaying you some result. It like how we write the code in Spark in the either in Eclipse or IntelliJ or whatever like IDE which you are comfortable with. It shows you the same result in a tabular format. If you want to see the schema of out of it, you can see the schema also. What you can do is you can just write your data frame name. Sorry, this is not my data frame name. My data frame name is countrydf dot print schema. I can just see what are my column names, etc., etc. in this. Let me execute this. So first the result will. Why I'm making so many mistakes? Okay, so I have already seen the result. So let me remove this and let me execute this now. So I can see there are few columns here and there. So let me copy this because I would be needing this to write some queries. Okay, so because when I would be writing some queries, so I will need this. So let me not this. Let me. So when I would be doing some certain joins, etc., so at that moment of time I'll need this, so that will help me. Otherwise again and again I'll have to, let's say, control C, and let me open a new notepad just for the reference purpose. Okay, so these are my some column names in this, so we'll be using this. Okay, so this is my first data frame which I loaded. Okay, if you want to just minimize the thing, you can minimize the from here. And as I told you earlier, so we can just take the leverage of my this also. Can you see from here? You can say hide code, hide result. If I say hide result, my result will get hidden. No issues in that. So if you want to see the result, you can see the result as well. If you want to see what are the DAGs which has been created, you can go over there and you can see the DAGs also. Okay, as of now there will be only one, I mean, whole stage. So you can go through this if you have the knowledge of Spark Scala. I'll not go into that. So I'm just exploring you the data bricks and I'm trying to show you. Okay, so let me hide the result. So my first data frame is selected. How we write, what we do is we create a table, like a temporary table in Spark, and we write SQL queries. Similarly we can do that here also. Okay, the same functionality we can write here also. So let me add a new, can you see this plus symbol? You can make use of this, or you can make, can you see add cell below? I can make use of this. So it's up to you how you want to leverage it and how you're finding comfortable. Okay, so let me copy this data frame name. Okay, and what I'll do is after copying this, I'll just use CRE and I'll just press tab. Once you press tab, so it will give you some options which you want to pick. So I'll just pick one, create or replace temp view, and I'll just say my temp table name would be just for thing I'll just say country temp table. Okay, and sorry, and let's say I want to read the data. So what I'll write, spark.sql select all from, sorry, select all from this temp table, and let me do a show, and let me execute this. Let's see what, shift enter. Okay, let's do shift enter, or control enter is also working. So if you see, the data is there. Can you see some 5 records? Okay, not 5 records, all the records in a tabular format. So we can just restrict it to 5, how we do that, but as of now I'll not do that. So let's move ahead, because I'm just trying to preview the data, nothing else. So once my data frames are ready, then we'll start solving the problem statement. Okay, so my first data frame is ready. I have loaded the data and I have created a temp table. So why I have created a temp table? Because I would be writing SQL queries, because the same solution I'll be showing in 2 ways. One is with SQL queries and the other is with data frames. Hence I'm creating a temp table for this. Okay, so now I showed you how to add the cell below from here. What you can do is, there is a plus icon over here. You can do the similar option. Okay, but it is taking up. So what you can do is move it a bit below. Do we have that option? Yes, move down, we have that option. Okay, so you can move up, you can move down, it's up to you. And let's say if you want to write certain SQL queries, what you can do, just type %SQL. After writing %SQL, you can just write select star from, what was my temp table name? This is my temp table name. I can do like this also. And let's see if this limits to 5 let's say, and let me execute this. Okay, so this is getting executed, so I can write the SQL queries also. You just need to make use of %SQL while writing your, now I can continue writing continue writing SQL queries every time. I don't need to specify this %SQL. Why? Because now my session is recognizing, okay, now I am into the SQL mode. If you want to go back to your Scala mode, you just need to type that %Scala. So it just switches from one mode to the other mode. Okay, so if you want to create charts, can you see there is one option? It is very beautiful and it is very, so you can go for different plot options. Okay, so I'll just remove this, and you can do by stacked, and there are various options which are available. So I like area chart mostly, so I always go with area chart. So this gives you a pretty beautiful concept to just represent your data. Means after reading the data, how your data is looking like, you can give everything. So it's up to you how you want to play with it. Okay, so I'll just move ahead, so I'll not take much time over here, because we need to go with the solutions. Okay, so I'll just hide the result when we are moving, when once we read the data frame of next and we start the solution, then we will see different types of graphs and the solutions. Okay, so this is the first data frame which we created. Let's do the same thing, and let me go over here. Can you see this plus icon, insert in new cell? Earlier what I did, I pressed this, so that's why the cell got inserted above. Now if I want to create a cell below, just press this, your work is done. So the new cell would be created a bit down upon here. So now what I'll do is, I'll try to load the next uh, file, which is nothing but my indicators.csv. Okay, so the same thing you'll have to write. You will have to write your variable, which is an immutable. It depends on you whether you want to use mutable, immutable. So indicators data frame, the same stuff we write, spark.read.format, and the format was csv. Okay, after that there were a couple of options which I used. The first option which I used was my header, because the file had header. So let's give that, so true. And I could have copied from above also, but it's just a small piece of code, no issues. And let's say option, and I can just infer the schema, and after inferring the schema, let's specify the true, and the load option dot load, and whatever the file name which we have, so file store. Okay, then the tables, and my, just want to see the file name, initial caps. Okay, indicators.csv. Let me copy this data frame name, let me hit enter, and let me display some records. And let's execute this. So what it will do, again there is an issue. So the error is something file store tables indicators dot csv.
Yeah, we have mentioned dot option true.
That is fine.
It put
Oh, no, no, what I have done is I have missed the
yes,
double quotes. Okay.
double quotes you
Yeah,
missed.
yeah. So
Yes.
that's what I have missed. So let's me execute this. So now
That
the
you wrote options there.
uh,
Row number 2.
no, no, no. It's working. It's working. It's fine.
Second,
I just missed my double quotes. That has been rectified. I was just missing my double quotes, so I just missed that. So it is working. So this is a very huge file. So it is very huge. So that's why it is taking a lot of time. And if I try to open on my local file system, my system will be in a hung state because Excel file, that .csv file, will not be in a position to load. If you want to see the count, I can remove the count and show to you also. But as of now, let's move ahead. So it's a huge file. Okay. So okay. So now here I have done, and okay. So someone was saying header equals to true. Okay, I am sorry, I did not hear you properly and I made the mistake. So till the time it is getting, I'll just prepare my data frame, all what I need to just display, or just how I did earlier. So I'll just create a temp table out of it so that I'll be ready for the next piece of code which we need to write till the time that is getting executed. So now, as this is a very minimal cluster which I have used with a very small configuration, hence it is taking time. But in real time, the cluster will be in a strong position to manage your GBs, TBs, or even petabytes files. Okay. So as of now, this is just a local machine which I am using, which is of a very small configuration, hence that is taking time. Okay. So now let's say this data frame, and let me just type, so create or replace temp view, and let me give my table name as indicators. Okay, I'm making mistakes. Temp table. Okay, so this is the temp table which I have created. What I can do is I can just write spark.sql, and I can just write select all the records from my temp table. So the same thing which I did earlier, I'm just trying to do with my other file. Okay, so I'm in my, let me execute this. So this is just one thing which we need to remember, switching between uh, Scala mode and your percentile mode. So that's what you need to remember. Okay, so indicators temp table. So what is the issue, why it is not able to show the data? The reason being is I have not used my action. So let me use my action. Okay, so let's go with the action now. Okay, so I can see the data. Okay, so my temp table is created, my everything is ready for the two data frames. Let's move on. So I'll just hide my result, not much needed. Okay, so this is not needed. Now let's go with the problem statement which we have. So the 5 problem statement we need to take, and I can write my %SQL, and I can do select star from the table name also, and 100% that will work. I don't want to go over there, so let me go over here. So let's see what is the first problem statement. So what is the first problem statement? It is saying is, what is the Gini index for India? Okay, so now what is Gini index? So this requirement would be given to you by your client. Okay, now let me just move this over here, and so I'll just show you. It is just nothing. Gini index is nothing, but it is just a index. It's a simple measure of distribution of your inequality payment. So if you see, as I showed you, payment in income inequality. So income inequality in India refers to your unequal distribution of wealth and income. So that is your Gini index. You can explore on that. So as of now, it's up to you how you want to remember, means find out what is Gini index. So I'm not using this. So I'm just trying to find out the solution for this. Okay, so the first problem statement is, for India we just need to find out what is the inequality rate wherein the income is distributed unequally, which that is what I need to find it out. Okay, I have two data frames, I have two temp tables created. So let's go with first method, and that first method is my SQL. Okay, and before that I have removed country code, short name, income group. Okay, and I need to see this schema for this as well, because while writing the code I need to find out my column names. Okay, so that will be required, because because I'll have to join two files or two tables, etc., etc. Let me take this in new data frame only. Okay, and this is okay, and let's go with running this cell now. Okay, so not pretty big. Let me copy this, and or let's say I'll go to the same notepad and I'll add a bit bottom. Okay, so what I need to do is, what I need to find is, I need to find Gini index for India. So I'll need country code or country name, and okay, so I'll take and some columns and I'll try to prepare some solution out of it. Okay, I can write the code over here also. It's up to us how you want to write. Preferably what I follow is, I follow this mechanism, so because sometimes it helps us. So to do the, so I have just go to the syntax view, view and syntax, and I'll make it to my Scala, which is already done. I think I removed that. Let me cross check. Yes, it's already done. So let's try to find out the Gini index. So first is my Gini index, and the first method which I'm trying to use is my SQL mode. Okay, in SQL how we will try to write. So I'll take what columns, so I need to take these two. I'll take year, okay, country code, and okay, okay. So I have few columns, so let's say select year, and I'll take value, and from my temp table, what is my temp table, is my indicators temp table. This is my temp table. Okay, and I'll just write a where clause. Okay, now when I'm writing a where clause, so what you need to do is, you need to pretty sure on what column which I'm trying to write. So in one indicators data frame, if I just try to show you the data for this, let me do a simple select, so that I'll be able to show you the data first. So let me write %SQL and select all the records from this, because I need to show you the different codes which are available in this, because on the basis of that I'll be doing some filtration. Okay, if you see this indicator name, and do I have indicator code? Yes. Okay, so let me pull this down. Okay, so here I can see this indicator code. So I'll just show few columns, country name, okay, country code, and I'm just interested in my indicator code. Okay, because on the basis of that I will be just filtering my data. So let me execute this. Given input columns, am I making some column mistake? Country name, so let me go a bit down. So I have my country name over here. Let me take that from here, so that my typo will be making a lot of mistakes. And I need indicator code, because on the basis of code I'll be finding my Gini index, etc., etc. So now let me run this. This should give me the two columns which I'm okay. So if you see, now there are different meanings for this code. Okay, so what is this meaning, we need to know. So depending on the requirement, so you will get to know what this individual code means is. Okay, as of now, so what this sp.ado.tfr at, what exactly this means. So these are some abbreviation for the data which is being provided in the indicators. So if I do select star from this table name, let me run this again and I'll show you. So if you see indicator name, so if you want to find out the age dependency ratio, you will need to use this indicator. Okay, similarly, if I want to find out the what I am trying to find out the inequality issue, so that will be at somewhere at the bottom. So you need to find out according to the indicator name, there will be some indicator code. I already know this because this is one of my project use case, so no issues in that. So let me just hide the code, not code, sorry, show the code and hide the result. Okay, so let's start writing the query. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to select these two columns where indicator indicator code equals to. So I know these codes because these are my PUC, and like day in day out I'm doing that only. And my country code would be India IND. Okay, and let me filter because I'm trying to show the data by country code, so let me go by country code. Okay, and let's say if I want to do by ordering, I can do that also. Let's say here in my descending format. Let me copy this and let me hit this. Let's see what issues come and we'll try to eradicate those issues. First, let me go to the %SQL so that my query runs well and I should be able to fetch the data. Let me execute this. Okay, beautiful, it is executing, so it does not have any issues. So depending on the indicator code and for which country I'm trying to find out the inequality distribution of my income, I'm trying to find out that. So the job is getting executed and it will show me the result. So you can write SQLs. Okay, so these are the
Why
SQLs now.
you have country code twice?
Quantize. Okay, okay, I'm really sorry, I thought. Thank you. Let me run this again. So what I'm trying to do is we are trying to just fetch two columns from this table. Okay, so the code is I know this code like Gini code and the unemployed code, export and import code, so I am aware of these codes, hence I'm trying to write that, and I'm just trying to write in a simple SQL language first. So this is the data. Okay, so what we are trying to get is in 1983 this was the value. I mean, it was the percentage or it was the equality of my distribution which was happening on the basis of income. Now, if you want to represent this in a particular chart mode, now here comes your beautiful presentations. What you can do, it's up to you. So whatever plot options you want to make, like ID and values on the basis, if you want to change the charts, you can use the legacy chart options. You can stack them if it is not changing. So let's go with pie chart. So it will show you what are the percentages of inequality indexes or for that particular year. Okay, so let's say if I want to specify the year, I can do that also. Okay, so on the basis of year, this is the value and etc etc. It just depends how you play with the data. Okay, so this is just a representation. Ideally this is the job of your BI people, which is nothing but your business intelligence people, because they are the downline stream people, wherein what we do is we take the data from the source system, we transform the data as per the given requirement, and we try to push the data into a Snowflake or maybe a downstream, like in my case it's a Snowflake in the cloud and the downstream is SAP. So we push the data in those formats. Okay, so on the basis of value here, you can just present it and you can create a dashboard out of it also. Okay, so let me go now. It's the same scenario. I'll just try to write in a coding manner. So I'll not use my what you say what I have used a SQL mode. Now I don't want to use my SQL mode. So what you can do in that thing is you can just use your, let's say I'm trying to, now let me go to my now the second mode which I'm trying to write for the same solution is my data frame, so which nowadays is heavily used. What you can do is you can write a data frame out of it. So let's try to name this as val Gini index. Okay, now what we were trying to do earlier, so from what is my data frame name? So my data frame name, do I have that? So let me keep the data frame name handy over here. So the data frame name was country data frame, and the second one was indicators data frame. Okay, so I'm trying to use this data frame. So let me take that data frame. From this data frame I want to select few columns. Okay, so what I will do, I will just write dot select, and what are those two columns? The first column is year. Okay, let me separate this by the second column is value. Okay, okay, so these are my two columns, and what I need to do, I need to pass my code. Okay, so to pass the code, so I need to filter it. Okay, so I'll just what so let's try to the filter, because what I was doing is I was applying a where clause over here. So here I'm trying to replicate that. Okay, so let's try to replicate that, and this will be my first column name, your equality, second column, and so I'm just trying to create a syntax first. This is how I do coding in my project, so I'm used to that mode only. So what is my indicator code? This is my indicator code. Let's place this. This is the column value of that indicator code. Done. Okay, now what is the country code? You can do the country code either India, Argentina, Australia, whatever the question is asking to you. Okay, so this will create my data frame. Let's see whether this is working fine or not. Let me copy this and go to my cluster, and let me hit this. Before that, let me switch on back to my Scala mode. Okay, and let me execute this, run this cell. Okay, so this is giving some issue. Let me see what is the issue. Ideally this should be an issue, because hopefully this is not able to identify that indentation. Otherwise the code looks good to me. Let's see if it is giving same issue, then we'll try to peek into it. Okay, so it is giving me the same issue. So what it is telling me, and country code. Okay, and country code equals to, okay, so here I have missed, and here I have missed. Okay, now let me execute this. Okay, so can you see now this has created the value. So now if you hover, this is nothing but my data frame. Now let me see the result. Now what I will do, I will just see some 5 records, or let's see all the records. Let me apply some action on it. Okay, now the Spark job action is getting executed on the transformation, because Spark is a lazy evaluation. It does not show you the result until unless the action is called. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to apply an action. Okay, if you see, and the one thing I did not do is I did not apply the order by clause, hence my data will not match. So what I'll do is, let's apply the order by clause. Okay, and what is my column which I need to apply? I think I applied on year by, right? And it was in a descending format. So let me execute this, and let me see the result again, so that comparison, it would be easy for me. I'll just compare first couple of values. If those are matching, then the results should be fine. So meanwhile I'll just pick some couple of, so this is giving just a little trouble. So in 2009 it was 33.9, and I think I'll need to run this again. No issues, let's run this and let's validate this. Okay, so let's see the result of this. If you see, so what I'll do, I'll just take the data set or result set, Control C, window R, already notepad is there. So this is my SQL result set, and let me come to the bottom. Let me hide the result. Okay, hide the result. Okay, where the code went? Did I deleted it? No issues, we can just do copy paste. I have already, this is somewhere, actually when I'm trying to record with two method, one is, so it is just giving me issue while moving up and down. It is not giving me a proper cursor. Okay, so this is, let me run this. Actually I run my data frame twice, I did not run my SQL. This is giving me some trouble. Okay, let me run this again. Let me see the output of this. Okay, so if you see for 2009 I had 33.9 percentage. Okay, so in 2004 33.38. Okay, so the data is matching. So I think we are good with the both the results which we are getting from one from SQL and one is from your data frame. So I think we are good with this. Okay, so let me copy this and just paste this. I'll just share this with you, maybe in the, so that you can have this with you. Okay, so I'm getting the data from for the first problem statement. Okay, so let me go with my second problem statement and let's see what is the second problem statement. So the second problem statement says is find out the youth literacy rate. Okay, now see, to find out certain things you need to know the data properly. Okay, as I know my data properly, so that's why I am able to write this. Okay, because I have worked on this POC, that's why I know which column to refer, which column not to refer. So it's easy for me. Okay, so I know for you it would be like first time you are seeing this, and the code will be knowable to you, but the only thing is column will not be knowable to you because I am using the column names as I know this. Okay, so let me go with the second problem statement, that is second problem is, what is the problem statement? Youth literacy rate. Okay, so YOUTH, youth literacy rate. Okay, same way we'll try to do in both the ways. The first mode will be your SQL mode, and the second mode will be your data frame. Okay, so to find out the literacy youth rate, maybe if you want to find out for a particular year, or if you want to find out for a particular country, you can just play with these columns. Okay, so this is the main table. Okay, this is the main table where you will find all the information, because here on the basis of year and on the basis of code I will find out all my country which are having the literacy rate lower or bottom, etc, etc. And let's say if I want to join these two, we will see one particular scenario where, or maybe this is the scenario wherein I'll be joining two tables. On the basis of the data I need to fetch the actual data. Okay, so let's try to see this. Okay, now I need to find out the literacy rate. So let's say select. Okay, so I need to find out the value. So this value is nothing but I'm just trying to write a youth, I'm just trying to give a column alias to it, that is youth literacy rate. So this is the outcome of, this will be my outcome value. Okay, and is there a column which I can take as name is country code, country name, and let me see something which should give me short name. Okay, I can use this, let me use this will give me some good value. Okay, so short name. Okay, so I have two tables. So the first table is nothing but my country's data frame, temp table. Remember, for this I have created a temp table. So I always follow a particular syntax which always help me to identify the table name and the data frame table name very easily. So it gives me pretty clear picture what I have done, what I have not done. So this will be nothing but your indicators temp table. So it gives you pretty easy things. So let me copy this and let me give me table alias as let's say for country code I'll give for let's say I give C, and let me join the indicators temp table. Let me take this temp table. Okay, no issues. And let's give as a, not, let's give a table alias as I, and let me write a joining condition. So both the tables will have a particular joining column, that is country code. Is it the country code? Yes, take that. So let's take the joining column, that is country code. So on C dot country code equals to I dot country code. Okay, now I am applying a filter. Okay, so the filter would be on my, as I told you, mostly I will be applying the filter on this code. So now I need to find out the country code equals to, so you can peek into the indicators table with the country code, indicator code and the indicator name. I'll be able to find out that, but I know this, so that's why I'm just trying to write this in one go. Okay, So these are certain synonyms which have been used, so don't worry about this. This will be means like once you work in certain project, you will be having all the information. Okay, so this is a literacy rate kind of thing which I'm trying to find out. And country code, or let's say let's go for year. Let's find out for a particular year. Let's say I think I have the data for 1990. Let's say if I do not get the data, maybe I'll just try to tweak the query, and whatever the aliasing I will, let me sort that out. Okay, so I'm trying to write a certain SQL query, and on the basis of that SQL query, let's see, I'm trying to find out the youth literacy rate. And let me go to my cluster. Here it's my cluster, and let's add a new cell at the bottom. Okay, so let's drag it down and let's go with percent scala, and let me hit this. Sorry, yes, it should have been SQL. See, if you see now it's not recognized, so I need to switch between percent sorry, SQL. Now it's, can you see the markings are being done? So let me execute this and let me see if I found any issues. Yeah, there are certain issues, so let's see what are those issues. So query analysis, country temp table. Okay, so I think I have made some spelling time temporary, so let me check that. So value I short name it. So CO event country.
Yes,
Yes, Philip.
What? Okay, okay,
Your spelling is that, yeah, yeah.
okay, thank you so much, thank you for identifying. Let me execute this. Yeah, beautiful, thank you so much. It is running. So now it is executing this. So on the basis of the two tables which I have created, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to apply a simple join, which is nothing but your normal join. So I'm trying to find out the matching data set on the country code. Okay, so this is the indicator code for that. So if I want to cast it and round it, I can do that also. As of now, I'm pretty much happy. And here you can just plot maybe whatever you want to plot, or the data, like let's go for area, and let me plot this into stacked. Okay, and this is not making sense. If you want to go for line, and let's show the points where the points are changing, and let's try the scale and let show as globally. Okay, so depending on a particular year, so it shows you for which country what was the rate of youth literacy. Okay, on the basis of that you can just identify, you can just hover it and it will show you the result set. Okay, so nothing big. So this graph creation is pretty, looks cool, but it is up to you how you play with the graph. The main thing is finding out the solution either through your SQL queries or through your data frame, whichever finds comfortable to you. Okay, so this is done with my SQL. Now let's try to do the same thing with my data frame. Okay, so let's come back to my, so let me minimize this, that is fine. Okay, so let's go over here and let's go with my data frame mode. Okay, so now let's try to, first what I'll try to do is I'll try to create a data frame which is nothing but my join data frame. Okay, first I'll try to join these two data frame. Okay, which is nothing but my indicators data frame and my country data frame. So this, okay, join, and my second data frame is nothing but my country data frame. Okay, and once I'm trying to join, I need to provide columns from this individual table, individual table, sorry, my, and the column name is from here, it is country code. Let's hit enter, and here I need to provide a equality symbol, and my second data frame is this. Let me copy this, and my column name country code. Okay, so this is the join which will get created. Now let me execute this, let me go step by step. Let me switch to my Scala mode and let me copy this and let me hit enter. As I'm not calling any action, so it will be lazily evaluated and it will be just kept. Okay, why I'm making so many mistakes? Okay, so let's execute this again. Okay, so now if you'll, let me run this again. Now if you see, my join data frame is created, so it means my join on these two things are happening perfectly. Okay, so the next thing which I need to do is, after joining this, what I did over here, I did some filtration. So the same thing I'll do over here. Okay, so val fill data frame, okay, equals to, so let me use my join data frame, which has the result set of the two data frames. Okay, from this what I need to do is I need to select few columns. Okay, and those two columns which I took was, where is this, value and short name. Okay, I'll just take value, not this, sorry, no, scala definitions over here as of now, value. Okay, I need to take this, and the second column name was my short name. Okay, so let's take that. Okay, so after receiving those two thing, what I did is I did the filter. Okay, so in this join data frame, from this data frame and from this data frame, there will be so many columns. What I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to select only few columns which are required in my result set, hence I'm not taking so many things. Okay, so now let me write a filter, as we have written a where clause over here. So I always follow this, and not this, yeah, and I will be having my year. Okay, so let's go with one more column, and this is the, so I just need to do copy paste. Once my code is written in SQL, so in data frame just the syntax will change, but the values will remain intact. So I'm just doing copy paste. It's making my life easy. The only thing is, once I need to put effort, but ideally you will not do both the things in your project, so I'm just trying to show you the different things. So it's 1990, I do not need to write this because, oh, let it be, it does not make a issue. So this will be the data frame created. Let me check whether this is getting lazily evaluated or not. I'll check here itself. Yeah, it is working. So my filter and my select columns on these two data frame are working appropriately. Okay, now what I'll do is, what we have done is we have done order by, and can you, so not here, so we have applied a order by, and what we have done is, can you see this value, we have renamed this column. So we'll try to do this over here also. So let's say I'm just trying to sort, and let's say sort data, whatever name you can give, it's up to you. I'm just trying to give this, so let me copy this. This is nothing but my filter data frame. Now what I need to do is I need to change this name. Okay, so to change this name, we have certain things like with column, renamed option. Okay, you can make use of those things. There are so many things which you can, with which you can do. So I'm just trying to make use of this column, make use of this API. So it is giving me not this, I need to specify the short name. Okay, let me specify the short name over here, and after that I just need to sort the data, which is nothing by order by, and inside that what I have used my youth literacy rate. Okay, and is it ascending or is it descending? Okay, let's use that, what we have used, so that my data set would be appropriately displayed. Okay, so this is the descending, and let's say I'll copy this, and let's see the data. Let me come to my cluster. Okay, so I can just add it here itself, and let me execute this. Let's run this, let's see what happens. So this, okay, so things are working. It means once you see this Spark jobs, it means whatever you have written, it's working fine, no issues in that. Okay, so this is getting executed. So I should have copied the data from here, so just for comparison, so that again I'll have to run this. So next time I'll keep that in mind, so that my data comparison. Okay, so I have not written, so let me take 5 records and just say false, so that I'll just see only 5 records, and I can see all the values which is getting truncated in my second column. Okay, so if you see, so we are getting some output. Okay, Now let's verify the output with both SQL queries and with which we are getting the appropriate result set or not. Let me copy this over here. This is my data frame result set. Okay, and show result, and I'll just go at the bottom and I'll just say show data. Okay, so this should give me the result. Let me copy. No, this is the same thing. I did not went to my, let me hide this, hide result. Let me scroll this up. Oh, why it is giving so much pain. Okay, so this is the data set. Let me copy this. Let me copy few records only. Ideally it's just 2-3 records verification which we need to do, not much record. Okay, so I can see 99.566 200 and I can see the data for Central Europe and the Baltics, and the second is 99.3 and the Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, so I think the data is matching. So I've just done couple of sampling, not much big, but you can do more sampling of your data. I'm just doing couple of sampling, not much. Okay, so I think we are good with the second result set. Again, if you want to prepare the charts, you can prepare the charts. It's up to you how you want to play. If you just show the results on the basis of that what we prepared the data chart, you can go for that as well. Okay, it's up to you how you want to go. Okay, so as of now I'm not, I have just shown in you once in your SQL or in data frame, it will be the same only. You just need to show, means how nicely you can show, or how nicely you can represent your data in a form of graphical representation which will be presented to the end user. So that matters, but this is not our job as a data engineer. So as a data engineer, we just transform the data and we just push the data into the required things. So not much we need to take care about. Okay, so let's go with stack, and this is stack method. So if you want to see different types of chart, I have shown you let's go for scatter. Scatter is not showing, so I think some values we need to increase. You can go for histogram, some small plotting will come, so that is okay. So let's go with bar 1 and let's see this chart. Okay, and global, so let's apply this. Okay, so it will just give you on which country, what was my literacy rate, everything it will give you. So you're just hovering over it as I have done with the descending, so it is telling me everything. So it's up to you how you want to play and display. It's up to you, not, but the requirement will be coming from your uh, client of whatever the requirement which is there. Okay, let's make a move. Let's move ahead and let's go with another data frame. Okay, so I think the second scenario is done, the youth literacy rate. Okay, so now let's find out the third problem statement is find out the trade percentage of GDP between India and China. I took India and China, so depending on the requirement you can take anything what is available to you. Okay, so mainly the indicator code, year and few columns I'm trying to take, so that I'll not go into much complexity. So my the intention of this workshop is just to make familiar with your Databricks notebook, how to write the code in couple of modes, how to create the chart, and you can explore on yourself. Okay, so let's see the third problem statement. Sorry, and what is the third problem statement? The trade percentage. Okay, so the trade percentage, let me just recall those column names. The trade percentage, so I'll take value your country code, and the trade percentage will be on basis of indicator code. Okay, and TRD something. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, so let's go in the, okay, so the, let's go with what I need to do is trade percentage. Between India So we are comparing only two countries. You can compare multiple countries. So the queries, in spite of just writing a single column, you can make use of in clause and write multiple. So let me go with the first. Okay, so the two columns, I'll use the same column, select. It is giving me a recall of those two things only, and I'll just display the country code as well. Okay, and from which table I'll be taking. So my temp table was indicators temp table. Yeah, the table was there, and let me apply a where clause on my indicator code, and this indicator code is something related any.trd, which I am able to recall. Let's see if this gives me error. I'm not able to recall it properly. Any trd trading, it was related to GNFS something ZS, which I'm able to recall it appropriately, and country code in. So this will be my India, and this second will be my CHN. Country code should be in caps. Okay, and if you want to just do by order here, and let me, oh, this already done, and let's make this simple. Let me check the query, select your country code from this table and this. Okay, so looks good to me. Let me copy this query and let me come to my cluster and switch back to my SQL mode, and let's hit enter. So this should have been percentage. Okay, so now let's run this query, and what we are trying to find out over here is we are trying to find out the percentage of trade between the two countries, that is China and India. Okay, so this is the code. Okay, so this is just on the evaluation. Once you get the data, you try to evaluate the data on first 5 records, 10 records. You just see what are the column values which are pointing to that, because once the requirement is given, you need to be sure what you are trying to achieve out of it. So that's why it becomes pretty easy. So it is comparing side by side. So I'll just take first 2 records for the comparison. So that is 2014 between India and China. Okay, so we'll try to compare with my data frame, which will be getting created a bit later. Okay, so the same thing, you can go with charts. So by default it creates you a bar chart. You can change upon your availability. Okay, so let me go, year is already there, so let me take the series as year and let me stack this. I think group 2 was correct. In this I think area chart will look good. No, it is giving me a, so I think bar chart is also giving good result, and apply a good color. Yeah, that is applying a good color. So see, it is comparing your China and India. If you see over here, just hover over it and it will fetch you the result. So here also, if you're hovering over it, so you will fetch it. So you can just specify what are the things which you need, and depending on the basis of that, and whatever the charts which we are preparing, there is one option which and that option is of dashboard. Okay, so I'll show you that option at last. So as of now, let's move on with my data frame. So this I'll show you with data frame, and the fourth and fifth one I'll show you with SQL, and the fifth one I'll show you with data frame. So I'll just try to save the time, because it's already 4 o'clock, and maybe because I've just set the time for 1.5 hours, I'm just worried the session should not get closed. Okay, so let's try to achieve this with the data frame. Let's go over here and let's try to write within a, I should have written SQL over here, and let's go over here. So this will be my data frame mode. Okay, so let's try to write the data frame. Same thing what we are achieving trade, same thing we are trying to find the GDP. So let me create a data frame which will say GDP of two countries. I'll just name that as, let's say, GDP data frame. Whatever you can name, it's up to you. Okay, so I'll take my first data frame, that is nothing but my indicators data frame, and from that I need to select few columns. And what are those columns? The first column is year, the second column is value, the third column is country code. Okay, so country code. Okay, got it. So I have done that, and I just need to apply a filter. So now we are good with, because we have already seen multiple times how to apply this. So let me apply a filter. So let me go with, and do I have two columns? Yes. So in spite of here I'll be just using one different syntax. Earlier we were making use of column name. So let me do this. In spite of this, because now I need to do this. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this, and there is one thing that we just need to write is that is in. So in data frame there is a syntax which we need to write like this. Okay, so I'll just remove this. Okay, so this should give me the correct result, hopefully. Let's see, once we evaluate this, we'll see errors and we'll try to solve this. Okay, so this is the code for the trade, and I have one more code. See, it gives you error and it eradicates your error, even Scala. So that's why I use this. So whenever what are the code errors are there, it prompts you. Okay, even here if you see, I just need to provide my country code column name. Okay, so let me just evaluate this. So this is the data frame. I'm trying to select 3 columns, and I'm trying to do a filter on indicator code with this code and my country code in these. Looks good to me. Let's see if certain issue comes, we'll get to know over here. And let me take this in a single line, and what I'll do is, oh, I think, and I'll just gdp data frame dot show. Let's go for 5 records only. Okay, and let's execute this and let's see what is the outcome. It's the error or getting the result. Okay, so it looks good because the Spark job is running. So I need to just push this at the bottom. Okay, so if you see over here, so let me pick the 2 records and let me go to my notepad. So okay, I have not applied, so this is in ascending and that is in descending. What I can do is, let's apply a order by clause dot order by. Okay, and what is the column name? The column name which we have applied is year, and that was in descending. Okay, let me execute this again so that the data output comparison can be done. So what it is telling is value order by is not a, okay, order by should be capital. Let me execute this again. So now this is getting executed. So I'll try to stop over here only, so I'll not take these two because this will take some time, I think. But still, let me compare the data first. And this was the incorrect data. So 2014 41.7 41.53831179, that is correct. So for China I'm getting 48.70. So this is for India 48.70 and 40. Looks good to me. Okay, so data is fine. So this is how I am trying to solve this. So it is nothing but I'm just trying to leverage my Spark Scala knowledge in the Databricks. Okay, so nothing else which I did. So it's just a small 3 problem statement which was given, and I'm just trying to make the solution out of it. So maybe next time I'll just try to add few more, and I'll try to come up with maybe a next time. As of now it's like 4 o'clock, so the time was set. So I'll just try to stop here. Any questions which you need to, means you can do anything on this. So you can just, now my once work is done, you can export this as a code, and you can just, so if you go at the top, so there is an option of export. Okay, so if you want to export as a DBC archive or the source file or HTML, whatever the code you can save, and you can send it to other person also. Okay, and there is an option to publish to the cloud as well. So as of now I don't know that option, so I'll not go into that. So whatever thing, can you see this one option which I was talking about? So I wanted to show you all the dashboards. This notebook will be published anyone with the link. Okay, so the one option is there. So dashboard, there is one option. Yeah, I think this is the option, new dashboard. So whatever result set which you had in your thing, it will give you everything. Okay, you can name the dashboard of yours. So let's say it's my first dashboard. As of now it contains the data also, result set also, but you can just hide the result set, and you can just delete if you don't want. Okay, so you can make necessary changes and it will go. So if you go to the bottom, whatever the things which we have displayed, it can come to a one singular flow. Ideally this is useful for the reporting people. What they can do is they can make representable charts wherein the end users or the client can take strategic decisions, and so out of the multiple worksheets they can prepare one dashboard. This is helpful for them. As a data engineer, our work is just to transform the data as per the client requirement and send it to the downstream.
Sir, is it possible to